How's it going, everyone? My name is DrapPep. Welcome back to another installment of this series. So, my weeds have been overgrowing, and I know, he's ran out of material again. He's now talking about random stuff. You don't understand. In California, it rains a lot, and there's nowhere for that water to go. Now, I'm sure you're probably thinking, oh, that doesn't make sense. It goes into the ground, idiot. It evaporates and goes into the sky. Yeah, but our soil and the way that our ground works, it just kind of sits there, and then we get mudslides. We get a lot of mudslides. And that all just kind of flash floods through here, especially where I live. We get lots and lots and lots of flash floods. And it's so bad that, like, there's parts of where I live where the water can easily go up to your knees or up to your hip. I remember one time, this was back when I had a relationship. This is my ex now. So my ex, who currently was in a relationship with me, did I loop that around enough times to make it confusing? But we went to school together, and there is like this golf course, and there's like a bit of a dip where the golf course is, where the water kind of rises up. And I'm trying to like meet up with her, and she's trying to meet up with me, but she's walking to me, and she sees this water, and she's like, "Nuh-uh, nothing's stopping me." And so she just walks across, thinking it wasn't that high up. It goes up to her shoulders. She is drenched in this water up to her shoulders, and she's kept her work, her project safe from the flood. But she was a trooper. She made it across, and drenched, by the way, drenched, shivering. And I'm like, all right, so we're canceling going to school then. No, no, we're going. Like a real trooper, just marched forward, finished the rest of her classes. I had a class to go to as well, and like mine let out because my professor wasn't an idiot and was just like, yeah, no, you guys don't have to show up. So her professor was there. They showed up. They literally had to be there. And so yeah, they showed up, and they they had to like turn in their work, which was pretty wet. And I think they did okay that day. I don't think they failed their class. But then we had to go back, and she was just cold, like an ice cube, like a popsicle. My poor girlfriend, popsicled. And so the reason we're bringing all this up is because I'm trying to point out that the floodwaters can get pretty bad. I mean, it went up to her shoulder. Of course, she was in a dip, so it gathered more there, but you get the idea. And so, because of that, we get a lot of weeds. Oh my god, so many weeds. I've probably pulled these weeds every week, every week, and then that following week they're back. Look at that, they're back. We've done everything to get rid of them, and they just keep coming back. And it's gotten to the point where my dad and I, because I live with my dear papa, my dear father, he's just considering mowing the weeds and pretending it's grass. Because some of it looks like it's grass. In the backyard, it was supposed to be all rocks, right? No grass whatsoever. And we had to pull back the plastic and the rock to get to the water line because we had to do a repair on it. And we just never keep bothered to put back the plastic or the rocks. The homeowner, because we rent from where I live, the attendant, what do you call those people? What do you call the person the super? They don't want to put rock back there, and they're still trying to figure out what they want to do. But while they wait, there's weeds that are still showing up, and we have to you know, mow the grass now because we're so tired of going back there. We're now losing dirt at this point. The amount of times that we keep pulling the weeds, it is slowly but surely like lowering how much dirt we have, because the roots, when they pull up, they still have a bit of dirt in them. That's how often they grow back. And we try to do our best to make sure that we don't take too much dirt when we pull the weeds, but it doesn't stop it from happening. So I keep suggesting we use like poison, weed spray, something. But, they don't want to because they go, oh, well, that causes cancer. Well, okay. So does pulling weeds under the sun. What's your point? Like, oh, we don't want to use poison. Well, they're going to keep coming back then. What's worse is the front lawn, because we have grass in the front lawn, and there's people who let their dogs go number one and number two on our front lawn, and it kills the grass. So we have dying grass in the front lawn and a never-ending supply of weeds in the backyard. Now, of course, I mentioned that it looks like some of it is grass, and I think the wildlife, because we have raccoons, we have birds, we have possums, skunks, they go in our backyard a lot. And I think their whatever their guado is, whatever their poop is, their I think it's filled with like grass seed. I don't know if that's possible. I feel like it is. I have a hunch that it might be possible that there's these droppings from animals that are creating grass in the backyard, but we got grass. And so it's one way or another, it's like, oh, you don't know what you want to do? That's okay. Mother Nature decided for you. We have grass in the backyard now for free. And we're going to try that. Most likely, I'm going to be the one that's tasked with pulling the weeds. And there's a part of me that's kind of like, oh, that's a filming opportunity. You could record that. And I did record pulling weeds at one point. And it was kind of fun, and some people liked it, and so it's not a bad idea. It's easy content. It's just, it's the strain. It's the act of going out there with a shovel and pulling the weeds. That's kind of a drag. I I really wish there was an easier way of pulling weeds other than, you gotta bend down there and get the little shovel. You gotta get in there and get it out, and you gotta do that like a bajillion more times for every weed. I'm sure there's like people out there who find therapy in this, in pulling weeds. For me, I kind of go out there with a beer. I just go out there, I grab a beer, and I just kind of go at it for a little bit of time, and then once I feel like I need a drink, I have a nice comfortable chair I sit in, and I just kind of drink a little bit, and I go back at it, and then I'm usually feeling pretty peppy at the end, pretty good towards the end, and I make kind of like an all day thing out of it. But it's the problem is the consistency of how often I have to do it. I hate that, and I keep telling them we should put down plastic, we should put down rocks if we have to, something, weed killer, something, because just pulling is not enough. You gotta like really get in the roots. You have to get in there, otherwise they're just gonna keep coming back. And everyone's just like, oh, you just gotta keep at it. That's not how. No, that's not how that works. Because I am keeping at it, and they keep growing back like weeds, literally. I don't know, man. I really hope we find a solution that doesn't involve us having a backyard that looks like grass but is secretly weeds. And I really hope we find a solution that's not us back there 24/7 pulling weeds for the rest of our lives. But I mean, that's kind of the price of living in California, other than the price of California. Other than bills and rent and utilities, there's also weeds. That's cool. But that's going to be it for this episode. Thanks everyone for joining.